It's honestly funny you mentioned this because as I was driving today,
You guys will never guess what athlete's video might come today.
uh, no, so like as I was driving today, my mind just started wandering as it normally does, and it just came to my head. I was like, man, what would I do if I just died? Like, who would I leave my things to and everything like that? And like one of my things I went to was like, man, I brought my keyboard to work, and I was like, I'll just tell my like people at work, like, hey, if I just die, just feel free to keep my keyboard there as a memento of me, because I know you guys love me a lot. And then the other thought in my head was, what if I got into like an accident and like my arm got amputated? Like, would I eat that just to say that I did? Like,
Uh,
like how often of a chance would you get to like just eat human flesh, right?
Yeah, but
okay.
then in what social situation would you bring that up and people would be like, wow, very cool?
Well, you'd be amputated, right? So people like, oh man, what happened to your arm?
This
Right?
is
And you'd be like, oh man, this is what happened. Want to know what happened to that arm?
this is
And then
literally
you'd be
the
like, I
exact.
ate it.
This is the exact hypothetical someone gave me. It's like you get into an injury, an accident. They got to cut your arm off. What do you do with it? Like
It's
it would
just
be a
there.
waste. It's just there. Would you
Yeah.
eat it?
Like, I feel like I'm not even sure if I'd be ballsy enough to eat it. Although, like, the thought would 100% cross my head. The the one that really comes to mind is like, man, what if I were to just like preserve it in a jar and keep it in my room?
Oh,
You know,
Like,
that.
both of these options you've presented as hypotheticals for Eric the amputee end with like people thinking you're really weird.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, probably. Like, I would think the same thing, but I feel like you know me. Like, I like things that are just a little bit odd because they're kind of funny. Like, I'll do it for the ha-has.
Hey, you can just admit like you think shit in jars is cool. Like
I mean,
random pieces of flesh
okay, I'm
in
glad you
jars.
did specify like shit as in like random things, as in not like
I mean, you can think turds in a jar are cool and just own it. I don't think they're cool.
I'm
but
not
you
sure
could.
that's me. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
But
I
I'll
don't
keep
think
it
so
in mind
either.
for next time.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like you are totally you have every right to think turds or arms in jars are cool. Uh,
I think
that
one of them is cooler. I'll be honest.
Teva, what's your answer?
okay. So I think I'm surprised how quickly you answered because I gave like zero context. You're just like yay or nay.
Yeah.
In my head, there's a few things. One, we're assuming this is like ethically sourced meat, right? Like it's not like you're eating it off of someone against their consent. Like someone has donated their meat, like their flesh, to be eaten, and it's like healthy, tested for any sort of like diseases, drugs, bloodborne illnesses, all that. We're assuming like all that being good. I still wouldn't want to.
Yeah, no, me
Like I
me
have
too.
no interest in doing it. Like would I gun to my head? Sure. But if it was just like Sunday afternoon, you want to go to the flesh butchery, the human flesh butchery? No. I'm good. I don't
Yeah, there's no situation in which you do this and then people don't think you're like a fucking weirdo.
honestly
I feel very attacked right now.
yeah, the one guy who answered yes. Yeah, it would be so fucking weird, isn't that right?
Like also
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I don't know. Put this to the other like to another hypothetical extreme
Yeah.
situation. If you're stranded alone on a desert island, and
Ooh.
well, not alone. If you're stranded on a desert island, the lone survivor of some sort of disaster,
Yeah.
and there's human bodies,
Ooh.
I would also not eat them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Even if it were to guarantee your survival.
yeah. No, because then I get rescued and they're like, "Wow, how'd you survive?" I'm like, "Haha, guys, I have something to tell you."
Dude, just lie to them. Just lie to the rescuers.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm foolish. I
Okay.
made it.
Let me sweeten the deal for you, right? Let's say it was
Sweeten the
you.
deal?
Let me sweeten it for you, okay? It's a culinary term. Maybe you've heard of it. Let's say that in that accident, right, in that entire horrible tragedy, I was there. I was there,
You
and I
was
told
there.
you, like, Luke, if I kick the bucket, eat me to live, right? Like, it was me, right? It wasn't some like random person, right? Like, it is my act of love to you to say eat me. You know? What about then? Would you be more inclined to eat?
No, definitely not.
Okay, related hypothetical.
Eric, I thought you were gonna say Okay, let me sweeten the deal. Hypothetical: the plane you're on carrying spices,
Spice.
chili powder.
You can
Seasoned perfectly.
you can eat
cooked
human
to
flesh
perfection.
with garlic powder. Yay or nay? Okay, no, but okay. So I think we know where we're at in terms of human flesh. Related, this came up recently. Is you have like some relative die, like far, not like super far, but like, you know, not like your direct like parents or someone, like maybe grandparents, maybe like an aunt or an uncle, they like die and pass away, and you're like cleaning up their things, and they have food in the freezer, like made relatively recently, like it's in the freezer, but it's like still good. Do you eat it?
No, that just feels wrong.
That
Yeah.
somehow weirds me out more.
Yeah. No.
Severed arm.
To an extent, at least I know where the arm comes
wait,
from.
wait.
I personally sourced
Okay.
said arm.
Okay, I'm playing devil's advocate here, right? But think about it. You go in, there's just food in the freezer. It is food. Like,
All right, picture this, Eric. You go, there's food in the freezer. The bag says ethically sourced human flesh. You eat that.
I mean, if I know who it came from and they gave me the okay to eat them, like, I mean, maybe.
they like in their will put ethically sourced human flesh for Eric.
Yeah, like, who am I to go against their will? You know, I live to serve. Like, I go against their will.
Yeah, I'm kind of with your initial reaction, Luke, of like, no, it kind of feels weird. And I don't know what it is, because, yeah, like, objectively, the food will just go to waste. But it's like, in my head, it's like, it wasn't, like, made for me. I don't, like, have their consent to eat the food they made. I don't know. It's just, like, weird.
Yeah, I feel like I'm taking something away from them, even though they're like
Even though they're dead.
dead, you know?
Yeah.
And it feels a little insensitive, right? You're cleaning out their place. You're like packing up. And you're just packing up a bag of popcorn from their pantry.
You're packing up.
It just doesn't feel right.
You're
man.
still in mourning, and you're like, "Oh, but I'm kind of hungry. And you go and look and see what's there.
Oh, dude, I feel like my grandma would be kind of down. She'd be like, dude, just eat the food, dude. Don't be a little bitch. Like, just
Wait.
eat it. I don't know.
It was with you guys, right? Who's like hot sauce, like grandfather's hot sauce recipe?
Daniel.
Oh yeah, no, that's yeah. Our
Like-
friend's dead grandpa's chili oil.
Yeah. What happened there?
But that was so our friend's grandpa used to grow his own chilies, right? Super spicy Thai chilies. And he would make his own chili oil. And he would like give it away as gifts or something. The context for that is like super different though, because they were all living together, they all shared food. It was the grandfather's recipe. It was something that the whole family enjoyed, you know. And so when granddad passed away and there was just a few vials of dead grandpa's chili oil left.
You don't have to name it that. You don't have to name it that.
No. Literally, I talked to him about it, and I'm like, dude, that would be the greatest name, like greatest.
Dead grandpa. That honestly would be a great brand name. I would buy that.
There's a picture of his grandpa where he like looks absolutely sick, like super cool, like the coolest grandpa ever. And I'm
Wait.
like, this is the photo you put on the back of the bottle, and
Yeah,
next to the paragraph that says our story.
When we make it big, we should, as one of our merch items, it should be dead grandpa's chili oil. We should do it for him.
I mean, I've been thinking of making my own chili oil for a while. And we could just take that recipe and rebrand it a little bit. You know?
No, dead grandpa's is the best brand. Like we're never gonna beat that branding.
Yeah, I feel like the context is different if it's just like random frozen food this person cooked for themselves and then saved versus like the special dish they would always make for family and we're very proud of.
Right.
You know,
That's
if
fair.
it's like something like that, maybe I would be like, oh, this is the last time I'll ever be able to taste it, and then I would eat it.
Ooh.
But if it's just like
Pasta.
stroganoff or something.
Beef stroganoff. Frozen beef stroganoff. Sure.
Yeah. That's different.
I get that. No, I agree. I'm with you.
I don't know. I still feel like by all means, like, I don't know. They like food is food. End of the day, you know. And I feel like if it were kind of just laying in front of me and be like, we go to waste anyways, might as well eat
See,
it.
yeah, that's the pragmatic point of view. It's like food is food. It's just gonna go to waste. But for me, I definitely feel like it's just weird and wrong.
Yeah.
Like, do you think, like, okay, in general, do you just leave food laying in the fridge? Like, how inclined are you to just eat it for the sake of, oh, it's gonna go to waste anyways?
It depends. If it's something I bought for myself and I'm like, oh, this is gonna go, I'm like, yeah, I'll eat it. If it's someone else's stuff, I'll tell them. And if they don't eat it, then I'm like, oh, well,
I'll
I'm
eat
not gonna
it.
eat this.
Oh, you're not gonna
I
eat
know,
it.
I won't eat it.
Uh,
It's like, this is your responsibility.
I
Yeah.
am admittedly very guilty of buying things, forgetting them in the fridge, and then them going bad. Like
I've eaten your spinach multiple times for that exact reason.
dude.
And I thank you for it. The amount of times I'm like, man, I don't have any veggies.
I'm
Just look over and there's
saving-
like
Yeah.
an entire thing of spinach. I'm like, hey Teva,
Oh
you're gonna eat that spinach?
Dude, I just like I buy it and then I forget about it, and like I'm a slave to expiration dates. If it says Best Buy 2/23 and it is 2/24, I'm like, it's ruined. It's inedible. I couldn't eat it.
Pathetic.
Past the point of no return.
Yeah, it's done. It's over.
Here I am eating like mildly moldy raspberries just because I was like, man, I should finish these.
Dude, I literally a speck of mold in my like fruit, and I'm like, it's all ruined. It's all done. I'll die if I eat that. Goodbye.
Which scientifically you should actually not be eating any food that has
Yeah.
mold on it, even if
Yeah.
you remove said mold. But you know, it's really fine.
This could be
You have an
complete
immune system for
science.
a reason, right?
Yeah, well, you do have an immune system for a reason. This could be complete science, like cap. But I do believe that, like, yeah, the moment you see mold, you should throw it all away, because mold is just like the outer part, and there's like actual like the mold, like I forget, I don't know if it's like mycelium or whatever it is, but like actual mold throughout the entire like fruit. It's just you're seeing the mold on the surface.
And that would track with what I've seen about it probably once in some YouTube video about someone who
Hey,
pretends to be very smart.
you and me
about
both.
Food.
Yeah,
So,
Adam
you know-
Ragusier? Yeah, same.
Thank you, Adam Lucia. Very cool.
Fucking
Luke's favorite food YouTuber out there.
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't. Something about him makes me.
You watched one video.
No, I get it. What?
I needed, man. That was all I needed.
Honestly, when Eric said some YouTuber that pretends to sound very smart, I was like, oh, he kind of hit the nail on the head over there, you know? That's fair.
Look,
I see that.
I love him, but that description I think is pretty apt.
It is very accurate, yeah.
Look, I don't know Adam personally, but he came off as kind of smug to me, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'd rather not watch this guy. You
That's
know?
fair, yeah. It's too...
I wish him nothing but the best. It's just not for me. You know?
Do you
my
actually though? Do you
Well,
actually?
No, who cares? He doesn't know him.
But you know, I don't wish him any ill will. I'm like, fuck this guy.
So who do you watch as far as food YouTubers go then? Like what
Uh,
kind of content do you think you like normally as far as like just casual watching?
Dude, I'll watch anything Internet Shaquille puts out. I watched a video he put out about worms today. Fucking
Who-
sick.
Give us
I
some
love that
context. Who is Internet Shaquille? What does he do? And why are you enthralled by him?
guy. Okay, he's a food YouTuber who makes very quick, concise, and to the point YouTube videos. He doesn't bother going super deep into the science because you don't really need to know that, right?
Okay,
I don't
but the
think
science
that's
is
super
kind of
important.
cool. wait, okay, you don't think it's important? Hold up, man.
It works. You don't have to know why
Uh.
necessarily.
For nerds.
Yeah, so he has the most like he also has the most unreceded hairline I've ever seen.
Unreceded?
It's like encroaching on his forehead.
You-
It's very
You
impressive.
can just say he has a good hairline. Unreceding hairline, dear lord.
No shade at Internet Shack, but like
No shade. That's good, right? Unreceding.
no, it's like encroaching.
Oh, it's growing.
Oh, I
This guy.
understand.
He's making jokes about it himself. But yeah, he puts out really good informative content that doesn't get bogged down or caught in the weeds about stuff.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. Also, I love Ethan Shablowski.
Yes,
Stuff
sir.
he puts out is great because he's good at breaking down the nutrition and macros for things. He makes food that looks easy enough to make and stuff that I would actually want to eat. And yeah, his stuff on like food prep is nice. Using similar ingredients to make different things. I appreciate that a lot. And
He
then
makes his
also,
own science. It's nice.
yeah. Jay Kenji Lopez Alt is the last guy because it's nice to see a master at work, and I like pretending I'm Remy on his head, you know, pulling him around like in
Dude.
Ratatouille.
Okay,
making
hold
him
up.
shut up.
Speaking of Ratatouille, I have something that we have talked about a long time ago that I want to bring back.
All right.
Alignment charts.
Continue.
Oh, boy.
You all know what alignment charts, but in case any of the viewers don't, so I think like the original like inception of the alignment chart comes with like D&D, where you can be like lawful, like it's a spectrum of lawful to evil on one axis, and then like chaotic. No, it's lawful to chaotic on one axis, and then good to evil on another.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a 3x3 grid where each axis like is something different. So it can be like whether you're good or whether you like believe in order versus chaos. And a lot of people take alignment charts for like super normal things and like make them a little ridiculous in like what they are. And so at one point we were just having a conversation in the car and we came up with the idea of the mecha alignment chart. So for anyone who is not a weeb or does not watch any anime, a mecha is, again, it's basically a show where people like get in large ass robots and fight in large ass robots. That's like the standard quintessential definition of a mecha. And so we were saying like a lot of shows kind of like, they're like kind of mechas. Like, again, like Punchline, we started with Ratatouille. Like Ratatouille's kind of a mecha. Like Remy is on, or is the rat is Remy, right? What's the guy's name?
Linguini?
Linguini. Remy's like on.
His name?
I'm pretty sure it's his name.
I can't believe his name was Linguini, dude.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Remy is basically on Linguini, controlling him. It's kind of a mecha in a weird way if you think about it. So
I'm inclined to agree, honestly.
So
I was literally scrolling through my phone today, and I saw a picture of. I'll find it later. It's Remy getting shot.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
With a laser beam. In the style of like a mecha.
Oh
mecha
my
battle.
god! I'm telling you, people can see like, okay, Ratatouille kind of a mecha if you think about it.
Yeah. It is.
Where would you put that on the alignment chart?
Okay, so yes. Well, first, I think it's important we establish our axes because the axes will tell the story. And again, Magic Podcast editing, if I put in the effort, I will like put these axes on screen so it's easier to visualize in the YouTube video. If you're on Spotify, go fuck yourself. Use your imagination. So axis 1. Functional. It's the idea of like what is happening in terms of the controlling, right? So like the most like lawful good, like the most quintessential functional axis is a mecha must have a smaller being controlling a larger being, right? Like get in the giant robot, it has to be small thing controlling big thing.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle, you just have to have one being controlling another, right? Just like something controlling someone else. The size doesn't necessarily matter. It's still kind of a mecha. And then the third, most chaotic axis is a mecha just involves control in some way. So in some way, there's some control dynamic. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's axis 1. Axis 2 is aesthetic. It's called a mecha because you're controlling a giant robot. So the most like lawful good aesthetic is a mecha must involve a robot. Like it just has to involve some sort of machine-like robot entity. In the middle, kind of neutral, it just should involve like some larger than life object, right? Like in the modern day, you don't really have like hyper functional robots like that. So just some larger than life object or concept is kind of what I put in the middle. And then in the most chaotic axis, a mecha can involve just any object, right? Like if you're controlling anything. So lawful good, like most quintessential mecha is stuff like, if you're familiar with anime, like I think Mobile Suit Gundam, like Gundam is like the quintessential, like that's a mecha. For people who are really like weebs, like Evangelion, Code Geass, these are actual mechas. And we're gonna go along these axes. We're gonna go down the functional axis, right? So currently, we're gonna go down the aesthetic axis. So everything here, we're gonna start with things that involve a smaller being controlling a larger being, right? So now we arrive at, we're having a smaller being controlling a larger being, and it has to involve some larger than life object, right? So the thing I put here, option 1 for the weebs, Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah.
Attack on Titan is a mecha. Mild spoilers, I guess, but like not really. It's like smaller things.
Episode 5 spoilers.
It's like
It came out like 7 years ago.
it came out 7 years ago. If you want to watch Attack on Titan and get hyped, that's fine. But like, yeah, they'll probably be mild spoilers for shows. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, Attack on Titan. You have smaller thing controlling not a robot, but like a larger than life thing. Attack on Titan's kind of a mecha. Another one I put on here, which I think is more approachable and maybe more people know about it. Inside Out Inside Out. So you have smaller beings controlling larger beings. No.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna have to just say yeah, because I actually never watched it.
Basic premise of Inside Out, you have your like core emotions and they like pull little levers in your head and then you feel things. Is like how it works. And so in my head, the larger than life object is like the emotions like existing. Like the emotions in your head. You could also arguably put it in the next category, which is a mecha that involves any object, but you have to have a smaller being controlling a larger being. This is where I put Ratatouille. It's a rat controlling a human. That's pretty ordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, as you're saying this, I'm starting to realize living is basically a mecha.
Living is a mecha. Dude, that's the most chaotic category. Life is a mecha.
Life is actually
Life
just
is
a mecha. And I don't think you can convince me otherwise.
No, I think you're super right.
Have you heard of the idea of the homunculus?
I have. As someone studying neuroscience, I absolutely have heard of the idea of a homunculus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That little dude inside your head.
That little dude inside your head.
Dude.
He just does it. Well, it's kind of true. It's just like the regions of your brain. You poke certain brain and you're like, oh, that's my hand. Oh, that's hand part of me. Ooh.
It feels like my brain actually operates like that on a daily basis.
Care to elaborate?
Poke in your brain?
Yeah.
I'm just smooth brain. I don't think, I just do, you know?
I don't think that's at all what we're saying.
No, but that's what my life is at this point.
Hey, I feel you. Let's get into the next column, I guess. We'll see how I align this, but the next column, which is you just need something controlling a different being, like one thing controlling another, but it just involves any larger than, or it's still on the aesthetic axis. So I had to do a kind of deep cut for like two equal sized objects controlling each other, where one is a robot. I don't know if you guys like, did anyone as a kid ever watch Metabots or play like Metabots games? No.
What is that?
Dude, Metabots is like this crazy, it's not crazy, it's like an anime series. I think it's maybe originally a comic or a game, but it's basically like, imagine like Pokemon, but instead of Pokemon, you're fighting with robots.
This guy really is just the hipster of like,
because the robot controls the robot.
It's called, well, it's meta with a D, and it's called Metabots because, like, you know how like you need a battery to power your robot? So in this universe, you just put in a metal in the like a metal, and the robot functions.
Damn, your childhood sucked.
I definitely didn't watch this show.
Dude, this show was like a big part of my childhood. I played like there was like a Game Boy Advance game, like Metabot Silver. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I literally couldn't think of another show where it's like a robot that's like human sized and one is controlling another. Like
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, if anyone knows anything that fits this category, like I couldn't, and so I put this show here. I think there's a whole lot of other stuff that is like not robot like. So like similar sized beings controlling another.
Mr. Incredible driving his car.
Mr. Incredible. Is the Incredibles a mecha? I don't know about that one. I haven't gotten that far. But for one being controlling another and a larger than life object, Pokemon. Pokemon's basically a mecha, if you think about it.
So is going to work and listening to your boss.
Shit.
Oh no.
We just keep going back to the fact that life is just a mecha.
Life is a mecha.
In every aspect, way, and form, it's just goddamn mecha, and you can't get away from it. All
right, last show in this like axis of just like one being controlling another and like it involving any object. Your Name, the movie Your Name, it's a mecha. It's a guy and a girl controlling one another in each other's body.
Damn.
Yeah? Do you agree?
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
For people,
for the purposes of this thought experiment,
I think Your Name is my favorite mecha movie. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys? I like for people who have not watched Your Name. It's like an animated film. It's like by this guy named Makoto Shinkai. He's kind of like Hayao Miyazaki. He's like imagine Hayao Miyazaki is like the anime film guy that everyone knows. This is like his little brother that like a few people know. So he's like a big deal, but he's not like Hayao Miyazaki. And in this film of his, essentially one of the big plot points is a guy and a girl like constantly switch bodies with each other. Yeah, that's the main idea. Yeah, all right, we'll move on to the final category, just to wrap up this whole alignment chart, okay? Which is the functional axis of a mecha just involves control in some way. Very loosely defined, right? It's just, there's some control aspect. So, for the robot ones, I put Wall-E. If you think about it, it's like control of the environment and your like freedom and life.
I see you went to the gym with all the proper stretches today.
What does that mean?
You sound real convinced of your own explanations there, buddy.
Dude, this one is the most like bullshitty of like, yeah, it involves control in some way. Like, you know, it involves control. I don't know. I really like the yeah.
I'll go with it. Continue.
I really like the next one though, because this is a show we have all watched, which is involves control and involves a larger than life object. You have any guesses?
Oh, that we've watched?
We've all watched this.
Together or separately?
Together.
Oh, Ava?
No. Ava's a real mecha. What do you mean
That's
Ava?
actually a mecha.
What do you mean Ava? Alright, you want me? I'll just tell you guys because I don't want you to guess it anyway. Parasite.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so Parasite, to those who have not watched, is it's a manga and an anime. The basic premise is these random parasites invade Earth, and they basically attack humans and like try and invade their brain and like take control of them. But our main character, what?
Shinichi.
God damn it. But our main character, instead of getting taken over, wakes up, sees the parasite crawling up his arm to his brain, and stops it in its tracks. And instead of taking over his brain, it just takes over his right arm. So he's in this like weird situation where he's still a human, but he has like this insane parasite right arm. And there's obviously a lot of like different weird dynamics of that, because the arm can transform into like anything. It can transform into like a giant sword. But yeah, kind of a mecha if you think about it. And then finally, the loosest axis of a mecha involves control and can involve like any object. This you could literally put anything here. I put Cars.
Yeah.
Cars is a mecha. I mean, if you think about it, they're controlling a car.
No, honestly, I feel like I've lived by that creed for a while.
Yeah.
Cars
Is a mecha. That's what I say.
Oh god.
So, yeah,
I don't know. Every one of these, I feel like I could still just relate it to being human on like every possible scale, and I don't like that.
I feel like control is just like a constant, like natural human conflict, you know?
Like what controls my entire body? My brain. My brain is the controller. That's the mecha.
Dude, as someone in like the like studying neuroscience, like definitely there's this weird disconnect where you're like learning, okay, so ions flow in and flow out, and boom, you've got consciousness. And it's like, all right.
Like you skipped a few steps.
All right, fuck.
Easy.
Yeah, so I'm just a fucking machine with like ions flowing in and out, and because of that, I wanted to start a podcast. Shit. All right. Okay. I'll take it. But yeah,
like by all means, I think it's one of those things where I feel like as far as like mortality goes, there was like a very defining moment for me where I was like, damn, I really am just like a sack of flesh that's just controlled by something that happens to be sentient, right? Like, I don't know, have you guys ever heard of Tibetan sky burials?
Is that where they just leave your body out there?
Yeah, so they pretty much, in Tibet, one of the practices that's there is instead of burying the bodies of the deceased, what they'll do is, because in their spirituality, the entire spirit and their spiritualism, that's all tied, like all of that is gone once the person dies. Once the body is the only thing that's left, there's no spiritual ties to that whatsoever. So what they'll do, just because they don't have any ground they can actually bury things in, they'll just chop up the bodies and then feed them to the vultures. And that's what a
Oh.
Tibetan sky burial is.
Eric, let's just say you're taking a nice hike in Tibet, and you see all these little bits on the ground, and you know, because of the Tibetan person's beliefs, that they're, you know, all of anything that makes it human is now gone. Do you eat that flesh?
Dude, I had the exact same thought. I was literally gonna ask him the exact same question.
Well, no, I mean, I'd be stealing from the vultures, and that would be just rude.
Oh my god. So
That would be wrong. That
so
would be
I'm pretty
morally
sure
outrageous.
the Tibetan people would eat human flesh. Like there's nothing there once they're dead.
You know,
Is this why you're making a lot more friends, Eric? Because you're just trying to find willing livestock to harvest from.
I mean, like,
Oh my
eventually someone's bound to say yes, right? Like, statistically, you're bound to run into someone who's like, yeah, dude, if I die, you can feel free to eat me, you know?
Dude, this guy, Eric, I don't fucking get you, man. I don't get you sometimes. We went climbing, me, Eric, and then our buddy, same guy who has dead grandpa chili oil, and Eric is in the gym, and he's like, oh, I know these people. And there's like 2 people over there. He's like, oh, I know them. Those are my friends. And then so he starts talking to them. I'm like, Eric, how do you know these people? And he's like, oh, I met them on Monday, which was like 2 days ago. And then someone else comes along, and Eric's like, oh, I know them too. I'm like, oh my god, how do you know all these people? Can you
To
explain
be
yourself,
fair,
Eric?
that third person. Okay, I knew the first person who just happened to be next to someone else, which I only just met that day.
Okay,
The
okay.
other, I only knew 2 people in my complete defense, and that spiraled out into control with all their friends as well too. But
That's how friendship works, yeah?
sometimes, I don't know, you just hang around someone and you just vibe with them. You're like, oh hey, okay, maybe I'll hit up talking with them.
Dude.
And maybe I was in a good mood that day and I wanted to be social. No, who knows?
Eric?
But in any case, I'm glad. I mean, I feel like end of the day on, what was it? We went climbing third Wednesday. Yeah, like we went climbing on Wednesday and everyone's kind of vibing out. Like everyone was chilling. You were chilling with them. Like it seemed like everyone was having a good time, and that makes me happy end of the day. But
Eric, I feel like you're the most sociable, friendly, degenerate gremlin I like know. Like I don't know how to reconcile these 2 like points.
I think that's what people at work are starting to realize. Not the friendly part, but the gremlin part.
Well, yeah, because first they get the like, you know, very like sociable, like pleasant, like friendly, want to make sure everyone's comfortable and happy, like person, and then they're like, oh, you're into what? You do what?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know,
You wanna eat
eventually.
what?
You might eat what?
Yeah, it's just you know, sometimes it's one of those things where we kind of going back to what we mentioned earlier. Like, I'm not someone who tries to put on a front as far as it. Like, if it's tiring to have to put on a front, right? So
Yeah.
it's easier to just be kind of yourself and adapt to a certain extent, right? And by all means, everyone who's probably known me as that kind of like, oh, he's kind of like a very open, you know, approachable person. That's what they get, and that is me. But yeah, there's a certain part where you do cover up like the maybe I don't be a complete degenerate gremlin, you know, like you kind of hide that for a little bit, and then you let it slip just a little bit, and then you know it's kind of the foot in the door deal, right? You're like, oh, he like flails about sometimes, you know, he like does weird movements or something like that. He'll kind of crouch about for no good reason, and then you're like, yeah, it's whatever, he's cool anyways, right? And then from that point on, that's when you start making noises and shit like that. You're like, okay, that's a little odd. And
I
you go
love
from
this
there.
description. I start
You
making
know
noises.
exactly what I'm talking about.
I start making noises, and then they start giving me looks.
I just feel like I've never had the urge to talk to a stranger in that way.
Wait, full stop. Full stop. I've just never had the urge to talk to a stranger. I agree, though. I do agree.
I think neither would I have, like, I would not have done that if that were me probably prior to working the job that I have right now, where I wouldn't say forced, I guess it is kind of forced to. You're kind of forced to be social, right? You're forced to be social, and you do 100% better off by actually engaging with people on more than just a surface level. And I think that's kind of tainted the way that I've seen things, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. Where, yeah, before that, I would have just put my headphones in the entire time and not talk to anyone. But by all means, I don't know. I realize I do like socializing with people, but only still to an extent, right? Like when it's my own time, it's still my own time, and I just want to chill and not talk to anyone else.
Eric just looks at strangers and just sees EXP waiting to be harvested.
EXP.
Oh god,
EXP from social interaction.
I've thought that too. Like, man, what if I'm just like a complete like psychopathic hoe? You know, like I just talk to every single person in hopes that one of them is like useful to me or something like that. Like I think that from time to time as I'm like driving.
I feel like
what
that's
if I just use people?
that's just extroverts at like any social interaction with introverts. They're like, oh, let me talk to you, let me drain your energy and take it from you.
No, like actually,
Yeah.
though.
Do you feel like you're an extrovert, Eric?
Honestly, like I wouldn't say either or at this point. Like I actually think it's very 50-50.
Yeah, I feel the same way, honestly.
Like I think if you were to ask me a year ago, I would have said I'm definitely more introverted than I am extroverted. But I think now that I've been put in this environment where I really have to be social, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I enjoy talking to people. Like it still tires me the hell out end of the day, but it's something where I do attain a sense of fulfillment when I do talk to people. As long as I enjoy that engagement, right?
Yeah, he gets enough EXP to level
He
up.
gets enough
Oh, look
XP.
at that. But yeah, by all means, like there is a joy in, I think, for me, really appreciating the strengths of each person and kind of getting to know people on more than just like a, hey Jim, how's the weather? It's looking good, you know, stuff like that. Right?
Every
He's
impression
building
is
his party.
he's building his party. Goddamn.
Trying to balance the stats.
Yeah. He's like, we're really in need of a cleric right now. Do you have cleric energy?
I'm gonna start my own isekai up in here.
But talking about that, that's kind of how things are with our other friend who climbs, because he's been wanting to do top rope, right? Top rope and lead.
Yeah.
And so he met someone who does lead.
Oh
and
no.
They got real buddy real quick.
Dude, he's building his party.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's building his party.
It's like, you would be very useful when I go to fucking Yosemite or wherever the fuck people
No,
climb.
they're literally they're planning trips like that.
Oh no.
No, they straight up are.
Yeah, they like a week, like day of, they're like, oh yeah, you want to go do like Shasta? You gonna go on this giant hike?
Jesus Christ. Climbing people, I can't with you all. I'm not
I
letting.
feel like it's. Oh yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. I'm just saying, I'm not letting us devolving into like half an hour of talking about climbing, because we did that last episode, and even if both of you are climbing pilled, we gotta have balance, dude. We gotta have balance.
Yeah, so you should start climbing, and then we can just make this an
Dude,
entire climbing
literally,
podcast. for
people
us.
at OHSU are trying to get me to climb, and there's pressure on all ends. Don't you worry.
All right, let's keep it up, Eric.
All right, let's
It's
go.
literally
The plan's working.
I went to Portland, like the fucking climbing capital of Oregon. I don't know, like Pacific Northwest and Bay Area are very climbing heavy.
It's like I never want to climb a day in my life. Moves to Portland.
Literally me.
I mean,
actually me. I don't want to go
feel
outside. And
Like
I'm in
you've
Portland.
been hitting the gym a lot more than I've been hitting the gym as of late.
Yeah, I love hitting the gym compared to climbing, and here's why. I feel like at the gym, like they're just fundamentally different. I feel like the gym is good for exercising, building muscle, working out, and climbing is like a fun activity, but it is not like a substitute for the gym for me. Like it is a good workout and it does exercise things for sure, but I feel like it is just so time inefficient.
You know
for
what's-
me.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a tangent that we'll circle back to.
Okay, we'll get back to
But
it.
have you considered
No.
tailoring your gym time to maximize your climbing performance?
No, because I don't climb.
Well,
Not yet.
have you considered starting climbing?
Yes, I have, because literally everyone I know is like, Teva, you should climb. Oh, do you want to climb with me? I'm like, no.
You know, I forget if I mentioned it last time, but I hate that it's actually part of my personality now to just go up to people like,
You
hey,
did mention this.
do you want to climb?
And you should, yeah, you're
Oh
right.
my
You have
God.
accurately assessed a flaw in your behavior, and you should address it.
It's actually so awful. Like every
Yeah.
new person I talk to, it's like, oh yeah, you know what I've been getting into lately? Oh yeah, you should try climbing. Like it's kind of
No.
cool. Like whatever.
Stop.
Not. It's
That's the
so
pr-
awful.
This is like, it's the same thing with morning people. Every morning person ever is like, don't you think if you just got up earlier, you'd get so much more done in the day? No, fuck you. When do you go to
But
bed?
it's
9 p.m.? Loser.
true.
No, it's not.
Sleeping at 9 p.m. and waking up at 5.
No, we
Nice.
literally get the same amount of sleep.
Breakfast before the sun comes up.
Oh my
get,
God.
Get to work earlier. Everything.
Or hear me out. You sleep at 11 anyways, and then you wake up at 5. You get 6 hours of
Okay,
sleep,
that
and
is
you
the-
get your night.
That is the worst of both worlds.
It's
Really.
sick.
Luke and I both agree that is not the
Dude,
move.
you're like min-maxing, except it's like min-minning.
You're yeah. You're not taking the
I get so
maximum.
much time in the day. It's awesome.
You do, but you don't sleep. You're
You do. You get 6 hours.
no,
It's
sleep is
perfect,
important.
dude.
It's very important.
I've realized I'm just a 9-hour sleep type person. If
I-
don't get my 9 hours, people are like, Luke, the light has left your eyes.
Oh, that happened when I turned 26. But like, yeah. Also, for me, I've gotten more resilient over the years. Now, if I don't get 7 hours in a night, the light leaves my eyes. But if I don't get, but I like aim for 8, and usually I can get by with a consistent 8.
I realize I was gonna say like, man, I'm so consistent now. I sleep at like 10, probably 11 realistically,
Sure, 11 p.m.
and I get like, I don't know, I wake up what 6:20, and most of the
Jesus,
time
that's so early.
I feel like 6:20 is pretty reasonable.
No, it's not.
I used to wake up at 6:20 for high school.
Why? Oh, well, that's
Yeah, wait, we
school.
all did.
Yeah, school
you not?
sucks ass. I feel like my dad dragged me out of bed at like 7 a.m.
Okay, then you got lucky because I don't. And this is where I realized when I was in college how much weaker I was than I was back in like high school or like
I mean,
middle school.
to be
Bro,
fair,
you're
Because-
literally just back in my day to yourself.
back in my day, yourself.
No, like actually though, right?
Oh.
Like think about it in college. I wake up what 8 o'clock. I get to class and I get out by maybe like I don't know 1, and I'm like, ugh, god,
Dude.
everything sucks. And you look back at like elementary, middle school, and high school, all those years, right? And you were waking up at like 6 o'clock, and you were getting out of class by like 2 or 3. And I do
Yeah.
not understand how any of us did that.
Okay, counterpoint. You were learning your ABCs in elementary school
Yeah, but that was
versus
stupid.
versus like doing like pre-cal or calculus or like fucking like physics.
Proportionally, right? Proportionally, my brain could handle about the same amount of density.
It was
at
the
that
same
point.
information
It was
load.
basically the same information.
No, I 100% agree in the sense that like obviously yes, in college there's like a lot of work and a lot of homework and it is super stressful, but you actually have so much like freedom with your time. Like you only probably have like, unless you're like crazy and an overachiever, which a lot of people are, like you probably only have like 3 hours of class a day, maybe 4. And the rest of the time is yours to do with whatever you want. Obviously you have homework and obligations, but like you have a lot of freedom with your time.
And I do miss college for that reason. Like my buddy and I talk about this all the time. We're just like, damn, college was kind of nice. You actually had
Yeah.
so much free time.
It's
Like-
crazy.
I did,
Like,
yeah, I did too.
it
But
was
then I
insane.
realized I had this realization. It was just because I was a bad student.
Yeah, same, pretty much. I think there was.
No!
I remember this exact moment when Luke and I were living together. I think this was before we were living with you, Teva.
Maybe,
Or
yeah,
I don't
probably.
remember. But
Probably.
basically, I remember this one day, like I just wake up, right? Like super late. Luke wakes up also super late. And we're like, don't we have like finals?
What the fuck?
We go like yes, and I'm pretty sure we just continue playing games.
Yeah, we're both like, man, we really should be studying.
And we just didn't study at all, in fact.
Dude, that's the best part of having roommates. You just both wake up, you give each other the look, and you're like, yeah, we're both fucking up
And, like,
here.
I'm pretty sure by that time Winston, like out of the room, like by that time he had already left. It was like to study, and we're just sitting here like groggy looks in our eyes, like just like playing games. Like I don't.
Dude, That
were
guy
not
was
good
so
students.
responsible. He's like
He
the
was so
president of an
responsible.
org on campus. He'd be out super late doing org stuff.
Oh my
He'd
god,
be doing his homework. He's managing an LDR. It's like, geez.
And then he would always come home and check in on us, be like, "Hey, do you guys want churros or anything like that, or any burritos?" And, like he'd always take care of us, and here we are, we can barely take care of ourselves and our grades.
dude, some people
I
are just like that.
remember writing an essay, turning to Eric because our desks were next to each other, telling him, "All right, I'm gonna take a nap," and then laying on the floor for 20 minutes and going back to writing my essay.
Oh my god.
Oh god, I honestly do not know how I passed college. I'll be honest. Like, the worst part is I'm pretty sure I got A's almost all the way through, except for the occasional B's.
I think that's good. That's really good.
Like, yeah, it's good, but like I'm also not in like a real major either, so take that as you will.
I
What'd
just
you-
realized I'm just
Shout
an
out to my
incredible test
sociology
taker.
majors out there.
True. What'd you say?
What was
Luke?
it?
I came to the realization like near the end of college that I'm just an incredible test taker. Give
Oh,
me some multiple choice. I'll
let
finish
me
that shit
let me
super
tell
quick
you.
and pass.
I literally got carried through all of college, all of high school, really, like all of academic schooling through my test taking ability. I am just because I feel like it's like playing a game, right? Like
Dude, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah, it's like playing a game. You just gotta optimize for the test. It's like very closed-ended problem. And because of that, like I got a super good GPA. That's like what got me all my opportunities in life is having a good GPA because I was good at taking tests.
This just reminded me of our friend who got every single grade possible, every single letter grade possible in college, except for a no pass.
Which is good because a no pass is depressing.
Yeah, no, he got all of the pluses and minuses for each letter grade. He got a pass. The only grade he didn't get was a no pass.
He completed. We all went to UCSD. I don't think that really matters. He completed like UCSD Highlander.
Yeah, he got all
Actually
the
impressive.
Yeah.
But I feel like at that point you might as well get the no pass just so that you did.
I think they should put that on your degree. Like you know how there's like magna cum laude or whatever, like all these things. There should be a title for like achieved every letter grade possible. It's like on your Steam
wear a
achievements.
sash.
Yeah,
you
you
little
get
like Boy Scouts sash with all your badges, except instead of the badges, just all the like actual grades you've gotten.
I bet graduation attendance would be way higher if at graduation they gave you like a little sash that had all your achievements in college. Like,
God, that'd be so sick.
Yeah.
Dude. I would go to every graduation just for shits and giggles.
yeah, I'd be curious what people get. Like, what achievements you got.
Oh, speaking of test taking, have we already mentioned the 3 out of 25 story?
I don't think we've talked about it on the pod.
Okay, yeah, I think we told someone else recently about 3 out of 25.
Yeah. You want to take this one, bud? It's your story.
All right. When I say incredible test taking ability, what I'm really talking about is just multiple choice.
Yeah, very specific.
The other stuff I'm not so great at. I ended up taking a math for engineering course.
Yeah.
Math for engineering, math for hard sciences course when I didn't need to in college. And this is with Teva and a bunch of other roommates we had. So
it was like literally everyone, like half the people on the floor were in this course. It was like actually kind of cool. Like to be taking it. Yeah.
It was great. We could all like study together. And of course, I didn't do that for the first test. I didn't study. And I got 3 out of 25 on the first midterm.
Yeah. And
guess how many points you get for writing your name?
Eric, do you have a guess?
I think a valid guess might be 3.
No, it's not that bad. You get 1 point for writing your name. This man scored 2 out of 24.
Yeah, it was real bad.
I remember because you showed me. Luke was like, oh, I did bad, and I'm like, oh, how bad could it be? And he shows me his exam, and I'm like, what? I didn't know that was possible. Like,
I had no idea anyone could be that stupid.
No, I didn't know you could get that low on an exam.
Yeah. So, anyways, I get 3 out of 25. But being me, I'm not worried. Not in the slightest.
You should have
like
been.
I've said, I probably should have been.
Yeah.
But like I've said before, I am like dangerously of the mindset that, it is what it is, right? I got 3 out of 25 on this test. It is what it is. I'll just study and then I'll pass the class. And so for the final exam, this was one of those classes where there's like 2 midterms and a final, right? And then your final exam can replace one of the midterms.
Oh, really?
Was it like that, or was it?
I
feel
don't
like it
know.
had to be that way in order for me to pass the class.
Oh, geez. Yeah, we'll say it is for the sake of the story.
Yeah. So anyway, I do okay on the second midterm. The final comes around, and I'm like, okay, well now I really need to study. I really need to make sure I get all this done, so that I can pass the class. And so we're all studying together. We all stay up late. We all take the final. We get our results back. I got 59 out of 60.
You know what I got?
What'd you get, Teva?
I got 58 out of 60.
I've never seen this man more mad in my life.
I was a different person. I was so, like, weirdly immature. You'd think I would be so happy for my friend who got a 3 out of 25 on the first exam and clutched it up, studied his ass off, and got a 59. But no, I was like, what the fuck? Why'd you do better than me?
Did you ever reevaluate your life choices leading up to that point when that happened?
No, I think I still got like a high or the same grade in the course. Like I think we both either got A's or like A minuses.
Yeah, I probably got like an A- B+. I could look it up if I really wanted to.
No.
Yeah, and I continued to be a much better student than I did through the rest of college.
But that one test, it's like the one. It's like the last game on the set of the last friendly, and you're like, oh, guess I won that. All right, catch you later, man.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I retired champion of Math 20B. Give me
Oh my
much.
god! And then he never took another math course again.
Yeah, no, I was done. Fulfilled my GE requirements. I was out of there.
Yeah. No, that is funny. That man. Yeah.
So, do we have beef, Teva? Do we have beef?
Do we have beef from this story? No, I've moved on. Do we have other beef?
Yeah. Oh, word on the street is you think I've switched.
Oh, who told you that? And don't tell me it was me.
I don't know, man.
Dude, all right, we don't have beef, but I do think it's kind of funny that like, so where should I start? All of us play this game called Magic the Gathering. It is a trading card game. One could argue it is the original trading card game, started in like 1994 or something like of that era. It's like probably 1993. I think it's like 30 years old. And recently I've started using Be Real, which is this cool little app, a little dystopian. Basically at a random time each day, it'll like pop up and be like, hey, take your Be Real and share it with your friends. And I'm friends with Luke on Be Real. And recently, Luke has been like every time, for some reason, every day, it's always Luke posting him like playing with his magic cards, sorting his magic cards. He's just always doing something magic related. And I'm like, damn, you've changed, Luke. You're so magic pilled.
You know, I think it's really just the nature of the sample size.
Every day?
Okay. I don't know about that. Well, Eric knows this. I have too many cards.
Mm-hmm.
I get the booster box every time a new set drops,
Yeah.
so that I can play the $100 card game once with all my friends because we play draft.
Yeah.
And then I'll like sort my cards. But recently, I've been going through all my boxes again and like reorganizing my binders based on like stuff that I could sell.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just getting caught in 4K literally every single day that I'm working on this.
You know, it's one of those things where if it happens every single time at random times during the day, it's...
Yeah.
I don't know,
it's
man.
a pattern at this point.
I feel like literally on your birthday, Be Real pops and you're like, oh, sorting my magic cards on my birthday.
Dude, just another day, you know?
It's just another day in the life, dude.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if either of you need cards, hit me up. I can send you the link to my binder.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was the only reason I think you switched. I feel like you've been so magic pilled recently, which I'm super happy about.
What if
I
I've
love
been
that
this
for
way
you.
all along, Teva?
And I just never saw it.
Yeah. I think that's
Maybe.
what it is.
You don't pay
It could be
attention
that.
to it anymore.
No, he doesn't show me. He doesn't share his life with me.
Me anymore.
Oh my god. Oh. Yeah.
No, I honestly miss the days where I was actually super excited about Magic. It's so much more difficult to enjoy it at this point.
Dude, honestly, how much of that do you think is that just because of like Hasbro and like Wizards of the Coast financial decisions?
Yes, but also I'm just old now. I'm just old and jaded.
All right, I see two directions we can go from here. One is shit on Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, and two is talk about like getting old at the ripe young age of like 26, 27 for Luke because he's a boomer. But like,
He's so old.
I kind of want to talk about Magic 30.
I don't know, man.
Is that topic like is it too old school? It's too late.
I feel like
We
a
missed the
lot
bus.
of people have talked about Magic 30.
Yeah, but how many? I guess honestly, all of our friends should know because I made a pop in Teva Tweet Tuesday about it.
Yeah,
So-
hashtag Teva Tweet
Hashtag,
Tuesday.
yeah. If you haven't followed already, I don't know how you know about this podcast if you don't listen to Teva, if you don't follow Teva Tweet Tuesday, but
True.
yeah, if not, go on Twitter, follow me at TCloudB.
No, like if we're going on the line of just being old, dude. Like,
yeah, talk
at
about
this
it. Talk
rate,
to me.
by all means, when I get home from the day, I don't even want to play games half the time. Like I used to enjoy playing games so
man.
much, and now when I get home, I'm just like, man, I just want some good food and some good sleep, and I'm happy. I've been so simple brained at this point. That's all I really need in life. It's just I just want to be able to sleep. Sometimes just laying on the couch with the dogs, knock out a little bit, put a nice little blanket on, and just go. Just let the sweet, sweet feel of slumber take me.
I really felt that, especially like during like peak COVID, where I would like go into lab, talk a bit with my lab, do my research, do my work, and just get home and be like, I don't want to do anything. But after like 2 to 3 years of kind of doing that, it like hit a tipping point where I was like I went like full inverse, where I'm like, damn, I hate having too many days in a row where I just get home and I like have nothing to do. Like I'm all by myself and I don't have anyone else to like do something with. I don't know, I just got kind of like tired of it, and I kind of almost like nostalgically miss the days of like college, where it's like you finish your classes and you're just like, there's so many people on campus to do stuff with. You can like hang out with your friends, you can just go to their like apartment or their room on campus and like do something. And I definitely kind of miss that in a way.
Yeah,
You know?
I feel that.
Like,
I think like I get where you're coming from, Eric, because it's like, oh, you've done so much, you've spent all day at work, and now it's just time to relax. But I don't know. I think about that, and I'm like, I don't want to look back and be like, wow, I really haven't done anything for a while,
yes.
And not to say that that's the life you're leading, because I know it's not.
Not to say you're a useless sack of shit who doesn't do anything and just comes home and... Not to say that.
I think we're pretty active these days. Like we'll
Yeah.
hang out with friends. We'll go to the gym. Eric, you have like D&D stuff. You have regular things that you do with friends. But
You socialize a bunch
Where was
online, like for sure.
where was I going with this? I think at some point I just kind of had a realization, and this was also after we were all sick with COVID, where it's like, man, my time and opportunities are kind of finite.
We
And
all
I
got
wanna make
COVID.
sure- I want to make sure I'm hanging out with the homies as much as I can.
Dude, we all got COVID and this man realized, fuck, we're gonna die one day. it's finite for us, man.
No. But that's not all of it, right?
Yeah.
Because also we had so many things planned.
Ah,
So many
yes.
things I was looking forward to doing, and then I was unable to do any of them.
Yes.
And then I was at home for 2 weeks doing nothing.
Yeah.
And then after that, I feel like maybe I am overcompensating
Yeah.
by doing something every weekend
Right.
and like every single day that I have free. And a lot of that is sorting my Magic cards.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like? Because I feel like if I would have asked you that same question maybe 4 years ago, you would not have had the same answer. I don't think. I feel like
no,
you definitely valued a lot of your own. I wouldn't say independence is the right word, but you valued your own time a lot more.
Like-
and you would
like alone
probably
time.
put that. Yeah. You would probably like value that like you weight that a little more heavily over like spending like time with other people. Would you say that?
Well, 4 years ago was also a very different time in my life
Yeah.
where I was working a particularly difficult
Oh,
job.
jeez. It's been
Okay.
4 years, has it?
Dude, and that stress, looking back into it, bled into so much of my life and my ability to enjoy being with other people. Which sucked because we were all living together.
Yeah.
And the times when I could get away from that and enjoy being with people were some of the best memories I have. But for a lot of that whole year, it just kind of sucked. At
No
least
one comes out of the
way
mines
I was-
the same.
the way I was like having to live just kind of sucked.
Yeah.
And of course, there's like all sorts of factors there where it's a product of like what the job was, who I am, my own problems with focus and attention, and working the type of job that I was working.
Do we want to bring our viewers into the mine, or should we leave it like
No, they don't need to come
They
into
don't
the
need
mine.
to
The
know.
mine's closed.
Mine's
There's a sign-
closed?
It's a sign that says no trespassing.
trespass violators will be shot?
The IRS may have shut them down already. Who knows at this
Yeah.
point?
Oh,
Maybe we'll
jeez.
explore the mine some other time.
Yeah, one day, because you
we
both
have
have been
to
in the
go in there.
mines. Yeah.
But have been in
Those
the
mines are deep and it's easy to get lost in them.
Yeah.
So another time.
Maybe if enough people are like, "What's in the mines? Tell us," and maybe we'll get to it one day.
Oh, if you know, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people probably could guess.
Everyone should know.
If you know Luke,
Everyone who knows me. should
yeah,
know.
you should know because he would not. No, I feel
It
really
was
bad
their
for you.
entire personality for the better part of like 3 years or however long you worked there.
Yeah. But like,
Yeah.
okay, circling back to being more social and feeling like you want to do stuff with people more of the time. Like that's currently like how you feel like you're operating nowadays post getting COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. This is something I've mentioned before to both of you. Maybe I've said it on the other 2 episodes. but,
Jesus Christ. We're at episode 3 and it's like, God, we're already repeating ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. I operate so much better as a person when there's something I'm looking forward to in the future.
Mm.
And I think having a lot of stuff planned while still balancing out time for myself to take
Yeah,
rest.
of course.
Having stuff planned every week, every month, just I don't know, makes me happier. I have things that I look forward to, and then I do those things and I enjoy them, and then there's more up ahead, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
No, I agree. I think that is fair. Like I do this thing as I'm in Portland, Oregon, where to like kind of try and socialize with people. I try and host like board game nights at my place. And honestly, they take a lot of work. They take a lot of effort because I'm like super extra. I like to plan out like the cocktail menu, and it's like kind of like you have to set aside like a whole weekend to kind of like prepare for it. So I'm trying to host them like once every other month, but I'm like trying to like pick the dates in my head in advance so I know when they are. I'm trying to plan out like this literally happened where I was like just trying to get dinner with like a couple of friends. And we're like, all right, let's get dinner on like Friday. And someone's like, oh, can't do that. That's my anniversary with my partner. And I'm like, okay, how about next week? And they're like, nope, we are busy until the 23rd of like February or something. Like we're busy for the next 2 weeks. And I'm like, Jesus
Booked
Christ.
out for 2 weeks.
Jesus Christ. And it's like, yeah, let me pin you down in 2.5 weeks. Let me pencil you into my schedule. And I'm like, dear Lord, we're adults.
Yeah,
Oh, it's such an awful realization when you finally
Yeah.
understand, like, oh my god, I'm an adult.
I'm an adult. Oh
And
no.
I still don't feel like one. I'm going to be honest.
Dude,
Like,
this is a bit of a tangent, but it's somewhat related. At OHSU, they like one of the grad students there, she like hosts like a bachelor watch party night every week.
mhm.
And the current guy on The Bachelor, his name is like Zach or something. He is 24 and he looks like a fucking 33-year-old. He just like looks like a gorilla. And I'm like, holy shit, this guy is like fucking 24. Like, how the fuck is he 24? And I'm like 26 and I still look like I could be in college. Not really, but like, you know. Not really, but like, well, let's just
so
say.
what you're saying is you're going on The Bachelor.
Dude,
I think that
funny-
was the takeaway.
funny thing. I was talking with some friends the other day, and we're like, I wonder what the shortest height a male Bachelor contestant has like ever been like on The Bachelor? Guess the answer.
6'1".
4'11".
Well, so Luke's guess is close to like what we were thinking. We're like, has there been a Bachelor that has been like under 6 feet? And I think in total, in like 26 seasons or something, there have been like 5 Bachelors under 6 feet. 3 of them 5'11", and 2 of them were 5'10".
Oh, you bet those
Damn.
3 guys who were 5'11"
No
were like, "I'm
short
6 feet tall."
kings.
Yeah, they're like, I'm 6 feet, and then they measure their height. I'm like, sorry, you're not even like 5'11 and a half. We can't give it to you. Like,
Can't be even on that register.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So I am 5'8", and I literally could not be selected for The Bachelor. I'm just not what women on The Bachelor want.
What was the sperm?
Literally,
Bank,
yeah.
Cutoff.
Dude, what was the cost for the sperm bank? That's a good question. I heard they pay pretty well if you got good sperm.
Speaking of that,
Speaking of VATs,
all right. So it's been enough time since we recorded the first episode.
No.
The first episode is out, right?
yeah.
Did you guys listen to it?
Yeah,
I listened to a chunk of it.
I edited
still
it.
have never had the chance to. You did edit it.
Yeah.
I've never actually had the
I
chance
asked
to
that
finish it.
question knowing Teva had edited it.
Yeah, if I said no, I didn't listen to it, it's like, whoa.
That would have been kind of badass, though. Honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just raw dogged it.
So what did you guys think? Let's pod about the pod real quick.
Oh, I see. Pod about the pod.
Damn.
I'll be
Some
honest.
Commentary.
It came out better than I expected. Not saying it was insane or great or anything, but it was surprisingly more listenable than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I wasn't dying inside after like every word. You know, like I feel like it's something where I listened to it and it's not like I didn't get enjoyment out of it, right? Like just listening to some of the things. I don't know.
Do you have something to add or say, Luke? I presume.
I thought it was weird, man. I thought it was weird.
You thought we
It was
suck ass.
Well, okay. Like we talked about in episode 1, we all have a different frame of reference for what the pod,
Yeah.
like what a podcast is.
Yes.
Do you guys think we're funny?
Shut the fuck up. You're literally doing the slime right now. We're on episode 3. Do you think we've lost it? Do you think
we
used
lost our touch?
we used to be funny and now we're not? Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
I think we have our moments.
we do have our moments.
I think in the like 2023 highlight reel clip of the Teva and Friends podcast, I think we have bangers.
All right. Another thing is, I realized how much I do not remember conversations because I listen to the pod and then I'm like, oh no, I literally say these exact same things in episode 2. Because episode 2 had been like,
Oh, really?
yeah, there's some stuff that I repeat in episode 2.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm sure all of you listeners at this point are like, oh, good, he's acknowledging that he totally fucked up in episode 2.
Just wait till episode 4 where he acknowledges it again.
So I feel like for me, that's not an issue I typically have. I think because I have this weird hang up about if I have talked to someone else about something. Let's say I talked to Teva about, I don't know, how I was really annoyed by this person, right?
Sure.
And we're all in the same room. I feel pressure to mention like, oh, I was talking to Teva about this earlier, to like preface the fact that I'm acknowledging that we talked about it. I don't know entirely why I feel like I have the need to do that, but all that being said, I'm acutely aware of what I've talked to other people with.
This is a bit of a tangent, but I have a similar like thread off of this, which is, do you guys ever tell a story? And I feel like the first time I ever tell a story is like when I capture it best, and then you'd have to tell the story again because someone else joins in. But there's someone there who's already heard the story once. Like, I feel like I can never tell a story well when someone who has already heard me do it once is there, and I'm like doing it again for them. Because I feel like I have,
fresh crowd.
Yeah, you need a fresh crowd. I feel like the pressure and the weight of the first time I told the story, and I feel like that's why you like need to like acknowledge like, oh yeah, I was just talking with Teva about this or something, right? Because it's like it's acknowledging that like, hey, you've
You've
heard this before. We were talking about this. This isn't the first. Like, I don't know. I kind of get that.
Well,
I think a big part of it is like I'm not trying to like I just want to share this with people. Like I'm not trying to get get clout or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, I am.
I guess it's a weird hang up.
he's just acknowledging that he's already gotten his EXP from the
Oh
first
my God.
first dialogue. You know, he's not trying to double
Is this
dip.
like a rock climbing thing? Are you guys like, oh yeah, I just climbed that V2. Oh, I got like so much EXP from that. Like, where's this
Okay,
EXP?
I don't think that way, but Luke probably does. Let's be honest.
Okay. You know how you're saying like you preface to let people know like, oh, I'm acknowledging I've already said this to you before.
Yeah.
I literally just forget who I've told things to. It's a problem that I run into a lot.
Yeah.
And it's something that my girlfriend absolutely loves. Because I will forget to tell her things. Because in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, it's my girlfriend. Of course she knows this thing that's super important.
Oh no.
But a lot of the times, I've just completely forgotten to tell her.
Yeah, I've seen that happen multiple times at this point.
And I'm sorry, and to interrupt, you're saying your girlfriend loves this, or
Well, you know.
In an endearing sense.
No,
no? In a
I love it.
this is infuriating sense.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just don't remember these kind of things. And I'm sure I'm going to bring this up again next episode.
Oh
but
my
God.
God.
A lot of times I forget. Well, also Eric saying how he thinks I look at rock climbing like it's like EXP.
Yeah.
There's an app that I use to track stuff that I've climbed because I literally will forget if I've done a route before. And then I'll do it again, and I'll check the app, and I'll be like, "Oh,
Yo,
I
I've already
did that
done
one."
this.
I actually have seen this happen, and we've only climbed together twice, so I can confirm.
It's bad. It's really bad.
No, I get that. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I totally get that. I also have like terrible memory with like certain things. I have like very selective memory. Like some things I'll be like, yeah, don't you remember that one time we went to this one place like 10 years ago and like did that? You don't remember that? But like for day-to-day things, I'm just like, oh, we talked about this? We did? Really? So I get that. I get that aspect. But like I feel like for the pod, we have a total net out. At this point, we will have like 4.5 hours net conversation.
Yeah, dude, and I've already double dipped.
Oh
You guys
no.
all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another weird thing about listening back is
Yeah.
I would like be thinking in parallel with my past self. Like I would have this thought of like something to say, and then I would just say it, and I'd be like, whoa. It's like when you those old like, Disney VHS karaoke things where you just follow the bouncing ball as it hits the words.
Oh my god.
Dude, the ball was bouncing in my brain. I'll tell you that much.
Dude, wait. I've had this like conversation with people. This like kind of almost gets into like this idea of like do you have free will or is there like determinism in like the world? And sometimes just like the way like people act and the way like people do things, it does kind of feel like we're machines like running on an algorithm and we just like do things.
Mecha, if you will.
A what? A mecha, if you will. Where like input comes in and we as people just like spit out the same output. Which is what you're describing.
I'm just a big black box.
Big Asian, half Asian box.
You know what I mean by
I
black
know.
box.
Yeah, no, I know, of course.
Input comes in, output comes out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was weird listening back because it's like two trains of consciousness that, you know, on parallel tracks sometimes colliding.
That's so funny that is your experience listening to the podcast because every time, like when I edit, I get the same thing when I look back at my Teva Tweet Tuesdays. We'll like talk about something and I'll be like, so true, bestie. You're so right.
No, I don't know. Maybe I'm just yard pilled because I'm like, man, I could have done this bit better.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I will say to all the viewers out there, and maybe like some people can probably like sense it too, right? Like, I definitely, like, after recording the first episode, I was like, oh my god, this is awful. We're terrible. There's nothing we can do. Like, nothing was good except for the vat of semen bit. Like, nothing, everything else is shit. But honestly, listening back, like, I thought it was like fairly entertaining and like fairly like, reasonable, like deep conversation between friends,
Yeah.
fairly intimate, if you will.
All right, Eric, which do you think was better, one
No.
or two?
Oh,
I'd have to listen to 2 first. And I feel like I kind of share that same idea. And I'll be honest, I know I just said I don't have that issue of forgetting things. I mildly forgot about what we talked about in 2, if I'm being perfectly
you forgot
honest.
about 2, but you remember 1?
Yeah, actually. I think it's it's recency bias. And whatever the other one is where you
Isn't
remember
that
only the
the
first one.
opposite?
Primacy and recency.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Recency. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I can tell you that, like, after recording 2, I already knew what the title would be, which is it's gonna be like, I can't believe we're climbing pilled, or climber bros, or something of that vein. Like, I can't believe we are climbing pilled, because literally for an hour we talked about climbing, and I was like, dear Lord, what have I done?
I don't think it'd be an hour.
No, it's probably like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just half of it.
Just
Just
45.
a third of the whole
A
episode.
third of the whole episode was climbing.
Maybe it's one of those, like, give me 3 episodes deal and I'll give you my thoughts in it afterwards,
Yeah, it's like the 3 episode rule. Give it 3. I don't know. I actually felt like they were similar.
Okay, I'll tell you, I walked away from 2 a lot less confident than I walked away from 1.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, sound off in the comments.
Ooh.
Which do you think?
Well, by the time they hear this, hopefully our dedicated fans, all 10 of them, and that's being generous, will have listened to 1 and 2. I felt like I don't know. I actually thought 1 was like pretty reasonable listening back. I was surprised.
Okay.
It felt like not bad for me, just as like an overall thing coming out of it.
Well, I'll let you know how 2 turns out. We'll see. We'll see how people feel.
I can't wait for us to actually just go from 1 and then just all downhill from there.
Literally?
Like 3 is just gonna be an absolute dumpster fire. And
No,
from there, oh
Guys,
boy.
are we funny?
Are we still? Were we ever funny? Can we still do it? Like, what if we just lost the magic?
I'll tell you what. I already had someone ask me for my Be Real after episode 1, so I feel like
Really?
we have
Wait,
some dedicated listeners.
That's crazy. Someone
Yeah,
wanted your
yeah.
Be Real after
Wow,
episode 1.
moving on.
After this episode, they will definitely not want it, because they'll be like, they're just gonna post Magic the Gathering things on his Be Real. Like,
Dude, my Be Real has been a lot of work lately.
that's true. That's true.
You want to
It
see
is
what my
something.
job is like? Add me on Be Real.
Oh my god. You're just, this whole podcast is just clout chasing for your Be Real.
Yeah, I'm gonna become a Be Real influencer.
Influencer.
At this point, I feel like I'm not gonna download B-roll just out of spite.
I feel like you'd really be missing out on connecting with your friends in an important way.
You really,
God,
it
if
really
only
be
there
like
was
that.
some stand-in for that. Like,
Yeah, like we
talking
just
to
got
them or
together once a week.
and like just I don't know, talked or
like
something.
recorded our conversation and recorded it.
And like I don't know, maybe even like distributed that to other people, and then they could hang
So
out.
they could interact with us
vicariously?
vicariously, yeah. Parasocial relationship with our normal social relationship friends. Yes.
Anyway, welcome to the Teva and Friends podcast.
Oh my
by the way.
god. Dude, did you know? I didn't realize to be nominated for like a podcast award, you have to have like an intro
Where'd you hear that?
on the yard.
Dude, I feel like we didn't say welcome to the Teva and Friends podcast in episode 2. We're like so
We
fucked.
did not.
I
So
don't
we're
think
screwed.
Neither did we.
Did we
No.
say it in episode 1 even?
Yeah,
We did.
We said it.
Really? Oh, good for us.
Yeah. I
And
don't know
then,
about you guys, but
out
I
of
think
spite, we'll
episode-
never do it again.
No, I
episode
like
3 is
it.
the strongest work so far.
What? Episode 3?
Yeah.
We're not even
This is
done
a
with
good
it. This is
Banger.
Dude, no, don't put that pressure on us. The
I
audience
can't
will
wait
know.
for you to eat your words.
I
Literally-
can't wait for you to eat that dead monk into
Oh my god!
God, I'll do it.
Oh
Watch
my
me.
god! No, no, not that.
I will season it properly too. I will show you my culinary skills.
Oh boy.
Dude.
Better than semen.
I hope so. Sincerely hope so. Oh my god. I don't even want to talk about my awful experience with grad school this week anymore. It's too much. I just can't.
Should we save it for next week?
Should we? I don't know. We literally still have. We do have time. We could go on longer, or we could call it here.
You know, there was something I did want to bring up because
What
you
did
guys
you want to bring up? You
touched
didn't put
upon
it.
the idea of treating like having life mildly like a video game.
Okay.
Do you know? And this is something I realized when I'm not sure if I hated myself more after making this realization, but as you guys know, I'm single, right? And it's something where just in my life, I did not know how to flirt with people whatsoever. And it was
Yeah.
one of those things where it's
Golf
not like
king.
I do that often either, right?
You flirt with me
But
all the time, but yeah.
all the time. Always kiss the homies goodnight.
Yeah.
But by all means, it was something where I was like, damn, how do you like actually show interest in someone? And I like didn't understand the concept of that, right?
Oh my goodness.
Do you know what actually led me to kind of grasp that concept better?
I have a guess. Do you have a guess, Luke?
Did you ask Chat GPT for advice?
Wait, that's a great response.
We could not save that for next week.
No, oh my god.
What's your guess, Teva?
Okay, I have like a real guess, which I know is not the correct answer.
All right, let's hear it.
You met someone who was like legitimately nice and interested with you, and it just happened naturally.
No, I
I
played Sims 3.
Oh my god, no!
No, I wish I were even joking.
Oh,
But
that helped.
in the game, right, you can obviously romance people, right? And that's something where there's two ways things can happen. You can either start talking to someone and talk about your friendship with them,
Okay.
or you can start throwing flirts at them. If you talk about
Okay,
your
wait.
friendship too much with
Wait.
them,
Wait.
they'll become more of a best friend and not a romantic interest.
That is the worst
anymore.
advice I've ever heard.
But but it's something where I realize it's like sometimes if you because that's something that was a hang up for me all the time. I would have this issue of like, but I value the friendship more than like pursuing a romantic interest. And because of that, I focused more on being more like a friend and never showing any romantic interest at all.
Eric out here spamming the make silly face option.
No, like actually though, right? Like I shit you not. That was something I realized come like when I finished playing, I was like, huh. Okay, I don't like that I'm making parallels with my life of all things with the fucking
With the
Sims.
Sims.
But I realized it was a problem when I was playing the game and I was getting stressed about not getting enough sleep in the game and then being late for work in the game.
In the game, not in real life.
And then I realized that's when I had to stop. I had to put down the game. I was like, this is too real.
The Sims is just a mecca.
The Sims is a mecha. You're the little guy. You're the guy in the chair.
Hey, little guy. No, that was
Dude.
legitimately such an awful realization to make of like, damn, this game is not a good game.
I-
if I just wanted to be stressed, I would just live.
I have a take, which is I think media and like so many things in general have brainwashed us, and I don't believe in the friend zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the friend zone is an idea, a conception. Like, sure, there are people who do not want to date you. That is true. And they want to just be friends. I don't think you acting friendly to them will ever shift you from dating zone to friend zone. If that makes
No,
sense.
so that's kind of the thing.
Okay.
It's not a them thing, it's a personal thing.
Oh, you're saying internally you're not taking the steps. Even then, yeah, that's fair. I like kind of see it, but
Like these
also,
are all personal hangups more than anything else.
but also, if they were interested, you know, they might do a little something too. That's all I'm saying.
So
Yeah, they might hit you with the flirtatious joke.
Yeah, the flirtatious joke, the hearts pop up when they say it.
there was a time where I was actually pretty close to a friend, and I definitely had romantic like feelings for them, right? And I was fairly certain at the time, or looking back on it, it was pretty obvious that they also did for me. To the point where like it's kind of like the sappy, damn, hanging out on a beach next to each other. It's kind of cold, isn't it?
Oh,
and they kind of get a
my.
little that kind of
Oh,
shit.
you like had it.
And
You had
know,
it made.
and you know what's running through my head at the time?
Oh,
Damn.
man.
It's
Damn.
a shame that they have a boyfriend.
Wait, whoa,
Turns out
whoa.
they didn't actually have a
Wait,
boyfriend.
okay, that makes way more sense. that was a curveball.
So the entire time, this chick is like, "Oh man, let's see if we can put on the moves on this idiot." Then he's just like, "Oh, haha, yeah, it is cold."
Dude,
Oh no.
oh man, I sure hope she isn't too cold. Oh, maybe I'll like give her like, oh, I could give her my jacket, but it's not like romantic or anything. I just hope she's okay.
God. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
no.
something we're looking back on. It's just you think about it, you just kind of scream from time to time, like, God, actually stupid. And anyways, I'm just
Boy
there to
brain.
reinforce the entire idea that boys are dumb. You're welcome,
Yeah.
society.
Oh, we're all here. We're all here for it. Luke's non-existent memory, your inability, like both of our inabilities to tell when a girl is interested in us. Yeah, we got it. We got it covered.
Really living that K-drama life with none of the actual payoff. Really, really loving it.
Hey, at least you don't have amnesia randomly. Well,
Give it a few years.
Targeted.
boy, Eric, aren't you glad both of us don't have amnesia and can remember things? Isn't that great?
Oh, I really love that. I love it when my friends can remember things. I don't have to be the one to remind them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I also have horrible memory, so good to go.
It makes all three of us, so we're all fucked, you know? So,
Anyways, we should probably call it so we can move on to episode 2 tomorrow.
oh my god. God damn it. Yeah.
Nice. Great episode 1, guys. Great job.
Yeah, oh my god, this was a banger first time. I'm so happy. You know, everyone listening, thank you so much for tuning into our inaugural episode. Super happy to have you here. Join us next week for episode 2. You know, what I'll talk about, something I want to bring up, is how I'm always late to the hype.
Yeah. And tune in next week to find out why my friends are not down.
You know, if we just keep pushing back and keep saying that, no, this is the inaugural episode, eventually we're going to get to a point where our first episode is going to look mighty refined and people will be real impressed.
People are like, wow,
yeah.
this is their first recording. These guys are kind of naturals on the mic, no?
Dude, they
Like,
even
damn,
introduced
okay.
the name of the podcast. This sounds awards valid.
Dude, a Steam achievement. Introduce the name of the podcast as late as possible in the podcast.
Anyways, yep, that's it for us.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys next week.
Catch you later.
Okay,
Goodbye,
bye.
everyone.